What up?
Yeah!
Yeah. What's up,
Another
party
week,
people?
baby. Here we are.
Edgar, what's up? New faces. I appreciate it for those who are brand new. As always, for those who are watching this replay, we have a special treat. I'm not going to hold any of y'all time any longer than what we normally do because we do have a special guest that is very, very important and has a lot to do on their plate. So, without further ado, would you like to take this one, Mr. Kenny, or would you want me to take
You,
this one?
by all means, man, you go ahead.
You sure? You sure?
Yes,
Me?
sir.
Me? You?
Yep.
You?
Yep.
Me? Me? Okay.
Boom. You.
It's on me, guys. All right. So, no introduction needed, but we're going to give that gentleman one. Y'all have seen him all over YouTube. From filtration videos, from Oscars and arowanas and betas as well. And he's known for a lot of people to have a lot of hate, but he doesn't care. He does not care. Ladies and gentlemen, KG Tropicals. What up, Mr.
A
John?
lot of hate.
Oh, what's going on, Mr. John?
What's happening? What an intro there. That was interesting. I wasn't aware I got a lot of hate. Thanks. I thought everybody liked me.
Yeah.
Well, some of your comments, I look at your comments, I'm like, man, they're just pure hating over there.
It's it gets ugly sometimes, but you know, that's the job.
Good, good. I'm so glad to have you on here. We got a hashtag, is it reptiles? Because Bob is changing up the name. Bob Kaler is changing up his name, y'all. Never would have thought it. They're already in here, Mr. John. They are going to have added, as always. What's up, everybody? You're probably seeing familiar faces. If y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. All right, Mr. John. So, 9 years on YouTube.
Yeah.
9 years. You've seen channels start and finish within those times.
Oh man,
for sure.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing that you had to deal with?
I'm not sure I heard your entire question there. You broke up a little bit on me, but
oh yeah, my internet is lagging. Sorry, y'all. You've seen channels start to finish, like literally they'll start up and then they'll finish. What was the hardest thing for you yourself starting out only 9 years ago when YouTube can only allow you 10 minutes of video? Mm-hmm. What was the hardest thing for you to do to start getting going?
You know what? I think that it's the same as everybody. It's like you start off, and my intentions when I started the channel were not to become a YouTuber, like where people know who I am. It was more, all I really wanted to do was show the fish that we were selling. So once I got into the game of YouTube, like I might be able to grow this and that might be something to add on to the business. When you start looking at it like that, it's almost like, I'm sorry, are you pointing at me or no, you're just flexing. Okay. I didn't know what you were doing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is what I do. I introduce everybody.
No,
so as you're speaking, I will I'm sorry.
I just didn't know if you were trying to signal me or something. I got
no, you're good. You're all right.
I just won't look at you while I'm talking. How about that? But no, anyway, in the beginning for all YouTubers, I mean, I don't care who you are, unless you're one of these people that just completely blows up out of nowhere, which most people in our community don't. The hardest part in the beginning is just staying motivated and looking at it and saying, I'm not going to give up, just keep grinding and all of that. That was real hard. In fact, so hard that I actually took a little break from it back in 2017. Okay. That's the toughest part, is just, sticking with it and being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and all of that. That was the biggest challenge. And then of course, learning how to do it, because like I said, this isn't what I thought I was going to be doing. I thought I was just going to be making videos of fish. So I kind of had to learn everything all on the fly. And that was that was a challenge. But it's kind of cool because it turned out to be something I really love to do. So that made it a little easier.
Good, good, good. Well, we got a first question from the chat. I heard KG Tropicals is shipping fish. How is that working for him?
It's working really well. Now we are shipping beta betas. You can call them whatever you want to call them. Rob, I was relieved to hear you say betas. That's what I grew up saying was betas, but I'm trying to learn how to say betas now. But that's all we're selling, which is a complete departure from what we started out with. We were breeding and selling African cichlids, and then, that's a long story. That kind of went away, and now it's exclusively the betas, but it's going extremely well. I mean, shipped a whole bunch of them out today, and it's a little frustrating at times when you're dealing with weather and all that, but I mean, hey, who could complain selling fish for a living? It's a beautiful thing.
Right? You get to play in water all day.
That's right.
Whoa, Haley comes in swinging. Did you see that?
Did she say, "What's up, clowns"? Or
No, she came in. That was a bad one, Rob. She came
oh,
in.
wow. Oh, I'll put that up there for Mr. John to see that. The glare on
She's
the
already
live stream,
coming in
for real.
swinging.
Wow, the light is intense on John's head. Oh, that hurts my feelings. That hurts my feelings.
Oh, no.
You know what's funny? I actually thought about, I have a hat over there. And when I was in the backstage thing, I was going to go grab it and come back with it on backwards like Rob. But I think I'm going to hold on to that. But the hat's actually right there. I was going to go grab it. But that would have definitely prevented the glare. This is why I hate this webcam and why I spent a lot of money to buy new webcams, because I can't get the exposure right on these. So I'll just sit here like this for the rest of the day.
I wouldn't even worry about it, John. Don't let the dragon get to you.
That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. That's why I wear a hat all the time, so my head's not, glaring at people. So,
John, out of all the African cichlids you kept, what would be the one go-to African that you absolutely must have in your fish room at all times?
It'd be hard for me to say anything other than yellow labs right now, because I've got 60 of them in a tank right behind you right behind the camera. But you know what got me really to be a hardcore African cichlid guy was peacocks. I mean, I absolutely love peacocks. I don't care what strain they are. It doesn't really matter. I love peacocks. Something about the shape of them and all of the different colors, the closest thing you're going to find to saltwater fish. So it'd probably be peacocks.
Did I take one of your questions again, Rob?
Look, Rob,
yes,
you can ask it
you
again.
did.
I'll have a different answer next time because I have others. I have runner-ups. It's fine.
Okay. What's your question, Rob?
Nah, it's all good.
He just got me. You know
now
me,
that
I'm
we've
ADD.
cleared the
He
air on
mentioned
that
African
one,
cichlids.
I did see a video that.
Uh-oh.
I know it's all right. It happens. It happens. Is my lagging again?
Yeah. Yeah. You were jumping on me. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm the only one you can't hear.
We can hear you now.
We can hear you.
Okay. Okay, good to go.
I think you were starting. It's almost like every time you go to ask a question, that's when it lags. It's weird.
But once in a while, we're getting this, Rob. We're getting this.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
So with being in this for so long, I did see a video where you were actually saying, here's some hybrid cichlids. If you don't like them, sorry for you. Was it as bad as it was then as it is now to be in the hybridizing of African cichlids?
You know what? I don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it now. I mean, it doesn't seem to be as hot of a topic now as it was then. I did a couple of videos on it, and you're right. I was like, if you don't like them, I don't know. I don't understand that opinion because they're so beautiful to me. But I've always been somebody that respects other people's opinions as long as they're not being jerks about it. But it was pretty hot back then, and maybe it's because I was breeding, that it was a hotter topic back then. But now I don't seem to see anybody talking about it anymore. I mean, it used to be one of those things. If you didn't have something to talk about on YouTube, you could just do a video about hybrids, and you knew it would get views, But now, and maybe I'm just blind, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it's that big of a topic now as it was back then.
But were you doing it just to get a certain color out of the fish is what you were attempting to do?
Right.
Well, I wasn't breeding hybrids. I mean, other than OB peacocks, if you want to call those hybrids, which I mean, technically they are.
I mean, I play with firefish and dragon bloods and try to, get a little different color variation going.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing that, but like, I don't know that we had any particular goals in mind. You know what I mean? We weren't trying to do anything extravagant. We were just trying to get beautiful fish. But I don't know that anybody ever really called us out for hybridizing, because the fish that we were breeding as hybrids, we weren't, how do you say it? Like with OBs, from what I understand, there's like a Mbuna involved, from like, that's what started it. We weren't doing that. We were breeding OB peacocks with OB peacocks, I mean, and that is kind of an interesting thing, because not all of them come out as OBs. Some of them just come out as all blue or whatever. So that made it kind of interesting, but we weren't like starting hybrids. You know what I mean? Like taking the red devil and the Severum, or that's what I heard makes parrots. Right. We weren't doing that. We were just breeding what we already had and trying to make as beautiful a ones as we could. I don't know that we ever got any heat for creating hybrids, is what I'm trying to say. But we would just have people that it was just, I don't know, it was just something that was a common topic back then of, hybrids are the devil, and anybody that buys hybrids or likes hybrids is, a spawn of Satan or something like that. It's like, come on, they're just fish. Why are you taking it so seriously?
Right.
And I'm sure most of those were those were probably on a Facebook channel, I'm sure.
Yeah. And, I mean, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and argue with anybody, although I actually have done a couple of videos arguing with people, but I've grown a little bit since then. I'm not really going to argue with somebody and tell them they're stupid if they feel that way. And I mean, I would just do that in the hopes that they wouldn't say I'm stupid for feeling the way I do. I don't know. It just doesn't keep me up at night.
That's true. Am I lagging again?
Nope. No, you're just not talking.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We had that silence, man.
Oh man, that creepy silence. Gross.
This happens every single time I'm a guest on a stream, and I'm like, did I stop too soon, or was I supposed to keep going? What was I supposed to do there?
It is all good. It is all good. With you having so much knowledge in this fish hobby, you said 9 years on YouTube and what, 16 altogether as far as fish keeping?
Oh, no, that's a conversation we were having about something else. No, I started keeping fish when I was 19. I'm 46 now. So I'm not going to do math. What's that, like 27 years?
That's pretty much my whole entire age.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, that's great.
Johnny does that to me all the time, man.
I've got a child 1 year younger than you.
I've been out of the Marine Corps longer than what he is old. I mean, that's crazy.
So with all the knowledge in the world that we have in fish clubs, do you think it's pretty smart for some fish clubs to start getting into the YouTube games, especially since now a lot of people are not able to get to them?
I think it's something that they should have done a long time ago. It's kind of, at least where I'm at and everybody that I've ever dealt with, it seems like a lot of those old school guys are very much anti that social media thing, and I can remember it particularly when we had our shop. It was like so many people were against it. Like they didn't want to have anything to do with anything with this new internet thing. And I think it's been a long time coming. I think that the groups can get a lot more attention. I think they can get a lot more members, which means more money for the clubs, which has never been a bad thing. I think the more clubs that adopt online content, I mean, and not being forced to, like we have been over the last year, but actually do it, I think it would be an incredible thing for clubs. But I also understand that kind of personal thing too, you know, where this is our own thing and we're not going to share it with everybody. I get that too. But, you know, I think that it's something that just should have done a long time ago.
We just had this conversation in our board meeting for Greater Portland yesterday over.
Okay.
So it's funny that we brought that up today.
Yep.
So that's kind of coincidence for someone that's the president of that club, huh?
Yeah. Believe me. And again, I'm trying to keep it but there is a thought that they have seasoned fish keepers, and then they don't even class us as fish keepers. It's YouTubers. And they say it in almost a condescending way sometimes. That they think because we're on YouTube and keep fish that we're not legitimate sometimes is the way I feel. And I don't want to disc anybody. I'm trying to keep it upbeat, but there is that stigma that they have put on YouTubers that we're not, you know, they don't think that we've been keeping fish just as long as them, but they assume because we're on YouTube that, you know, we're just here for the show and nothing else. They don't understand that most of us truly have a passion for the hobby. I mean,
I went to a fish store like 3 months ago, and the owner in there was a old school guy, you know, that guy from back in the day. And he had no clue who I was, which is not uncommon. I mean, I don't expect to walk into these places and people know who I am. But he said he had never watched a single video on YouTube about fish keeping.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, and I get it. I mean, you know, you've been doing it this way forever. Why do what all those young people are doing now? I mean, I understand it, but yeah, it's surprising that the amount of people that don't even know that this world exists, this online world that we are partaking in right now, they don't even know it's a real thing. And
yeah.
So
That's
it makes
true.
sense that they would look at us as a joke, you know?
Right. Well, the one thing you hit on too, John, that was one of my points I drove home yesterday. If every club in America, to the most part, is the older fish keepers. And the point that I drove home and they finally saw it my way yesterday is the fact I said, if you do not bring youth into our club, reality is, guys, your club will truly die if you don't have youth being brought in.
That's
and
right.
I think every club in America should do a wake up. It's time to bring the youth in, because if you don't, you're going to have an issue.
Yep, it's so true. I mean, it's almost like this is a hobby, and I hate to sound this way because I'm in this industry. It's like this hobby's been dying forever. It's never not been dying. And it's like the only way we're going to get it to grow even more than it is now, which it's grown quite a bit over the last year. You know, COVID has been good to the hobby, as sad as that is to say. If we don't get those young people involved, we're doomed. And, you know, this is the way to do it. I mean, doing social media and having the energy of Rob is the way to do it. You know, get those young people involved.
I can only try that. I can only try. All right. All righty. Is everyone is enjoying themselves in the chat. It's like they're just talking and not having any questions. So I'm gonna keep on going with some questions. Speed round.
Oh, here we
speed
go.
round, Mr. John.
Yes, I think. Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to list two things. Basically, you like or kind of like, just between the two. We'll see. Number one, angelfish, discus.
So what are you telling me? I have to pick one?
Between your favorite of those two.
Do you know who I share a home with? I
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'd like to have a bed to sleep in at night, so I'm going to say Discus. I'm a longtime angel lover. Anybody that knows me knows I love angels, but I think it's almost inhuman to not love Discus. I refuse to pick between the two. But if I had to, it would be Discus and then angels, only because of who's on the other side of that door right there.
And she watching
Well,
right now. She's probably like, you
There she
better
is,
say-
right there in the chat. See, I'm a smart guy. I mean, I might play dumb on the internet, but I know what I need to do.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Miss Lisa.
He said discus
Great.
without us even challenging it.
She knows.
Great answer. Okay, a Venustus or Frontosas?
Frontosas.
Ooh, hey, I've been looking on some of these fish, and I know that these are some of your favorites. Oscars or arowanas?
How dare you? How dare you? All right. Oh man, daggone it. It's gonna be arowanas. Arowanas are what got me interested in this hobby, and even though Oscars are my life right now, it's gonna have to be arowanas because that's.
Oh my God. I got to go, Rob.
Hey, I mean, Kenny, you and I, come on. I mean, we've got something in common here. I love these fish, but
I'm just
arowanas, they're what started it with me.
Just
so.
giving you a hard time, brother.
I sure do love my Oscars, though.
Rimless tanks or tanks with rims? And I'm not like talking about 20-inch rims, actual rims on the tank, you know.
I don't own a rimless tank, so it's going to be rim tank all day long. I just lied to you. I do have a rimless tank, and it's probably my least favorite tank of all of them. So, yeah, we got to have a rim on there.
All right, good to go. Good to go.
Well, plus when you're keeping 300 gallons, it's hard to find them rimless, right?
That is true. That is true.
That's true. That's true. That is good knowledge right there. Last and final question: hang on backs or canister filters?
I'm going to go hang on backs.
Wow, you shocked me with that one.
Really?
I would have thought with the size tanks, you would have said canister. I really would.
Listen, well, all of my big tanks have sumps on them, so you didn't ask sumps. I'm somebody that is all about beginners. That's what I cater to. I'm trying to keep the beginners. Yeah, look at that. And that she had nothing to do with me answering the question that way.
She's answering them before you.
Yeah, she knows me pretty well. Hang on the backs are easier to use. They're cheaper. They're easier to set up. They're easier to maintain. And I'm all about easy and all of that because I want to keep fish keepers in the hobby. So that's why I would say that. If I was setting up a tank, I mean, all of my tanks are big tanks. So it's going to be a sump. But if I couldn't have a sump and I had to, for me personally, I would choose canisters, which I know completely contradicts what I just said. But, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying here. I like them all. I've got them all in all of these tanks. So
on my bigger tanks, I'm running FX6s on almost all of them. So
that is one of the absolute best filters on the market, and you'll never hear me say anything different. I love that filter. I've got 5 of them, I think, right now. Love those, but you know, I mean, I'm running sumps now on most of these, but actually on our 2 125s, we have FX6s running on those. So
I've got buddies that keep telling me to go to sumps. I had a bad experience younger in my fish keeping world where I come home to a flooded basement because of a sump and kind of took the flavor out of my mouth there.
Sumps are a challenge, and you want to have a real challenge. Be a dummy like me and set up 2 sumps on 1 tank.
Oh, wow.
It's the most ridiculous thing. And it happened because I'm not a smart person, and I ordered a stand that I couldn't fit a sump through the doors, 1 big sump. So I ended up having to go with 2 small sumps. The dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I hate it. I hate the whole thing. And the thing is, I can't, like, it would make a lot of sense to just go ahead and do 2 FX6s. But I don't know if that would, I don't know if the filtration would work out, like the plumbing would work out with that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
What I've done with bigger tanks is stagger them. So you got an intake outtake on one side, intake outtake on the other side, and it keeps everything flowing to where it seems to work. That's the way I've done it on the bigger ones.
I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up connecting the 2 tanks. I'm going to probably buy 2 new 29s. That's what I used, was 2 29 gallons. I'll drill some large bulkheads and just connect the 2 tanks underneath. That way I don't run into the issues that I run into now, because it's impossible to have the water level the same on both sumps. It just can't be done. So that's the most frustrating thing about it. And that would be easy to fix if I could just drill the 2 tanks. But that's a scary thing to do. Drilling glass. I don't like that.
I can imagine.
That sounds scary.
Well, I'm banned from power tools in my house, John. I'm known for what they call Kensidents. So from what you're describing about yourself, I don't think you and I should ever do a project together. It's probably going to be a mess, man.
Well, I could just do all the work and it'd be done right. That's all.
What fish or tank would you, the 3 of you, get from each other? Rob 93 and Danica Aquatics.
You mean you're stealing one of our tanks and I'm stealing one of yours? I'm taking that tank right there. I mean,
right?
Why wouldn't I? That one's coming with me with the fish in it.
There you go.
Well, if that's it, I'm taking your 360 behind you then, bro. That's all there is to it.
Bring an army with you to take it. That's all I have.
I imagine that's quite heavy. I've moved those before. That's no throw it on the back and go.
We never even picked it up. It went. We got very lucky. The stand is at the exact same level as my truck, the bed of my truck, with the tank in it and me standing in it is like the perfect amount of weight for the tank to be at the exact same level as the stand, and we just slid it right onto it. It's never been picked up.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm not excited about ever moving it out of here.
I can only imagine. You got it? Anyone got a question? Anyone?
You're supposed to be the one asking the questions.
Well, not necessarily, because I have a lot of people who would love to ask questions, and I always want to.
He always tries to look in the chat to make sure there's not.
I always want to see if someone has one. Yeah, so
I don't know a whole lot about this streaming thing. I'm sorry, I don't know.
It's all good. So, with talking about tanks and the setup, we were just talking about that setup back there, it being so simple and easy. Who's the best scaper between you and Miss Lisa?
Come on. I am not an aquascaper. And I'm absolutely not. It's definitely her. And I'm not saying that to win brownie points. It's quite obvious. I mean, she has a 125-gallon Betta sorority tank that is just gorgeous. It's heavily planted, and it's full of so much snails and shrimp and a bunch of fish. It's an amazing tank. I could never do something like that. I mean, I don't have that in me. I'm more of a simple one piece of driftwood or, one pile of rocks like I have in my Yellow Lab tank. That's not only pretty much all I'm capable of, but it's also, that's my style anyway. But it might be my style because that's all I'm capable of. I don't know. But she's definitely, there's not going to be any showdown. Her and I doing a scape off. I would just concede before we even started.
That would be interesting, though.
It'd be fun, but it's not cool to go into contests knowing you're going to lose them.
RB Animals Rescue says, what one fish will you not keep?
I mean, the obvious ones would be red-tailed cats and arapaimas, just because I don't know that I would ever have anything to keep those. But that's kind of a silly answer. That's like everybody says that. I'm gonna be really bold here, and I'm gonna say piranhas. just because I've had them and I just didn't think they were all that great. For me personally, I mean, I'm not saying they're bad fish, but it's not a fish that I'm particularly interested in.
Okay.
So,
I thought it was goldfish. It seems like you have a beef with goldfish on your channel. Like,
no, I got a goldfish tank right there. You can't see it.
Oh.
But it's right there.
okay. All right. See,
I don't
I'm
show it
wrong
all
too.
that much, but yeah, I love goldfish. There's not many fish I don't love. I mean, but you know, the politician in me says red-tailed cats and arapaimas would be the best choice.
good question, RB. That was a good question. Good question. For 9 years, y'all have been on YouTube. What are the bloopers like? Do you have bloopers stored away? do you have them throughout the times? Do you just have a whole folder just full of bloopers? What are the bloopers like?
Let me tell you something. It's a guarantee that Lisa and I will be together forever. And the reason why is because of what I have in my hard drive. I mean, both of us could go down fast if we I mean, and it's funny because her and I, you know, we've got game face. We can put our game face on and you know, do what we got to do. But when we mess up, there's so many 4-letter words and so much screaming, and it's hilarious. And I have, you will never see this unless Lisa and I break up. You'll never see this. I've done little compilations of Lisa just because I'm bored and I'm sitting there editing and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put all these together. And everybody in this house was dying when they saw that. It was a lot of fun. But
she's saying they're so bad.
she is quite the character. There is a silly side to Lisa that most people don't know, and it's hilarious. And so, yeah, there's your warning, Lisa Marie. You're watching this. You don't know where I have that stored, so you better watch out.
Well, she might be thinking, John, she's got one on you too. You don't know. She might have one on you.
Well, she very well could. And you know, I don't think that there's anything that could like get me in trouble, but embarrass me. Oh, sure. There's plenty of that. Plenty of that.
Ripple in the Water, love the logo, love the Oscar in there. What is your dream fish, or do you already own it?
Oh man, I mean it's always going to be, and it's never going to change until it becomes a real thing. I just so happen to have this shirt down here.
The red Asian arowana.
Yeah,
it's the Asian arowana. It'll always be the Asian arowana. I've been offered by more than one person to get me one, and they're like, but you can't show it on YouTube. And I'm like, I don't have to show it on YouTube, but at the same time, I would almost feel obligated. You got a fish like that, you almost have to show it. I think it's silly that they're not available to us in the United States. I think that's dumb. And I would love to see them legalized, but you know what? 27 years or whatever it is that I've been in this hobby, and they've been saying the entire time, it's about to happen. And it never does. So yeah, it's going to be the Asian arowana every single time.
Nice.
Yeah, if we could get hobbyists to stay responsible and stop dumping fish in local Floridan and Hawaiian and all the warm areas, then you know everything would be available to us. But they can't help themselves. They don't want to do the responsible thing, take it to a fish store, whatever. Ends up in a local waterway, and that's how we end up where we're at with fish being banned from coming in.
And that is very true. That is very sad. Still plenty of common plecos in pet stores, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so it's like, but yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, apparently there's an arapaima problem now, and plecos have been a problem for a long time. Lionfish, yeah, people are just dumb. I mean, why are you going to put a fish in the water like that? That's
the main one in Florida right now is the snakeheads, the real monster that they're having issue with right now.
That was a big problem here. We did a thing on one of our videos about it, and I actually included like news clipping, not news clippings, but clips of news broadcasts where they were talking about the fish that can walk on water and all this. Not walk on water, walk on land. It was madness, and I don't remember when that was, but it wasn't too long ago here in the Mid-Atlantic. It was, yeah.
Danny and I were privileged enough to have those in Hawaii, and I mean they are such a personable, cool fish, and it's sad that you cannot get them now, because I mean we really enjoyed them when we kept them over there. They were great fish.
When I started in the hobby, they were still sold in pet stores, and they were awesome. I mean, that's a really cool, unique fish. And yeah, a couple of people had to screw it up for everybody. It's a shame.
We're getting some ideas for you if you need any members only bloopers. I would sign up for that. I would sign up for that. I'm not even gonna lie. I would sign up for that.
That's not a bad idea. Listen, it would take so long though, because I'd have to put it together and then I'd have to get approval. Like, is it okay if I show that? Yeah, it would take so long. Mine, I wouldn't care. Like, show them all.
Right.
As long as you can tolerate foul language, then you'll be fine watching mine.
You sound like Danny.
We got a lot. We got bleeps and dolphins signs and signals and stuff. If you want to put them in there, you know.
It's true. I mean, again, that's so much work though. But if it's for members, if it's members only, then it's like, hey, I mean, you know
what you're signing up for if you're going into a member only cat.
Exactly.
Well, when we were just talking about that subject about snakeheads and arapimas, and you even did a video on the arapaima of how big they get and just how crazy their appetite is and all of this nonsense. But with us wanting certain fish, like he was saying, we need to rally up and come together. But also the DNR or whoever your area is or whatever they call themselves, the wild fishing game, they should also put into work as well. Because if we want certain fish, then we should be able to house those fish. Then we should also tag them and be responsible for those, because if they do get in the waterways, then they know where it came from. So there should be ways of working around things that we want that we can keep.
Yeah, and I would think that this is just another positive for social media. I mean, if all of us are saying, "Hey, don't be an idiot, don't release these into a river somewhere." First of all, fish is probably going to die. Second of all, it could become a huge problem, like what's happening in Florida. And somebody mentioned snakeheads in Maryland. Yeah, I mean I could be wrong, but I feel like that's kind of where the whole snakehead thing started, was in Maryland. Right 2 miles from me. So yeah, I mean, with social media now and all of us saying don't do that, I would feel like that's a good thing. But there's still going to be stupid people out there. If there were no stupid people, we wouldn't need police officers. I mean,
that is true. That is true. All righty. Also, since you've been doing this for so long, and I know you have a lot of series, what was one series that was your most favorite to do?
The Tanks of Our Lives.
That was a good one.
And I have to bring it back. It's really, really difficult because when I did those, it was kind of like, it gave me an understanding of what like sitcom writers go through. Just little 6-minute videos would take hours to just script and have it all laid out and all this, but it was so much fun. I mean, it was without a doubt the most fun I've ever had making videos on YouTube. I feel like a schmuck for having not continued it, but it is a lot of work involved in doing it. I really do want to bring it back though. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was just about to say that was probably one of my favorite series besides the filtration series, because I love filtration. So I like that. Yeah. Good answer. Good answer.
And it's different, I mean, it's not the same old guy sitting in front of an aquarium like I am right now. It's something different. I don't know. People should just send me ideas for Tanks of Our Lives. Then I'll have a better. I can do it then. It's hard to come up.
Yeah, that would be a great one to come back. Now, since I've asked what was your favorite one that you enjoyed, which one was the most difficult one that you just said, you know what, it's time to give it up? it's not worth my time, and I love it, but it's just not the best thing for me right now.
Ooh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, everything that we've done where we've kind of followed along with a series, the reason why we stopped is not because it's too much or we didn't like it. It was more, it just kind of ran its course. You know, we were doing top 10 videos for the longest time, and that's what really kind of blew our channel up. And after a while, it's like, okay, I don't know what else we can do a top 10 list on. You know, I mean,
Right.
So it's not that we stopped doing it because it was just a bear to do. We love doing it, but it's like it's done. You know, there's nothing left to do with it. I don't know that I've ever had one. I mean, I've got like 700 videos on my channel, so it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had stuff do poorly, but I don't know. That's really, really tough. I don't know if I can answer that. I'm not avoiding it. I promise. I just don't know. I don't know that I have.
It's all good. It's all good. No, that was a perfect answer. I mean, if you run out of things to talk about on a video series that you've had, you're just wasting time on doing the same videos over and over. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean there is truth to you can kind of recycle things and you can do things over again because the last one you did was a year ago and you've gotten better equipment and you're more fluent now and whatever, your editing's gotten better. But I don't know. I mean, it's when you get to a point, at least for me, when I get to a point where I can't think of anything else, like I just don't know what else I can talk about or do a top 10 list about. That's when you know it's time to go. And then I stop doing them and the channel starts to die off and it's like, oh, what have I done? I made a mistake. And then you got to figure something out to bring it back, but it's hard.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So another question, because we already talked about favorite fish. My lady told me if I get rid of any of the fish in the house, I get rid of. Like, she's kicking me out. What fish are you not allowed to get rid of that Miss Lisa also agrees that you can't get rid of? Period. Like, everything has to go but those fish or that fish.
Well, I'm not going to include the bettas because you can put those on your nightstand. I mean, I'm not going to include those. It would be the discus 100%. She would have no problem at all with me getting rid of these Oscars. That would not bother her at all. It would break her heart if I got rid of the yellow labs and the goldfish that you didn't even know I had. And there's a lot of fish that we could let go that it wouldn't keep her up at night. But the discus, no, I would go before the discus went. So
that's probably how it go in my house as well. We love our Discus 240.
And how could you not? I mean, they're just the best.
They're great fish.
Yeah. Miss Lisa says her fish. So
there you go.
Yeah. I get it now. I get it now. Oh goodness. How many ecos can I fit on a 125, Mr. John?
That's somebody being a rascal, is what that is.
Okay, all right.
Because that's
I told you there.
That's people still trolling me over the echo problems that we were having in my stream, and it was driving me. I was gonna be hospitalized. I mean, it was making me so crazy. And so yeah, that's somebody trolling me over that. That's good. It's a good one.
Okay. Okay. I told you they're savages. They're savages in this chat. So I'm just letting them have it. So
hey, that's fine. Hey, I'm wide open. Go ahead.
Oh, Dobek, he did not go there. He says no more Oscars equals more space for discus.
Oh, that's a good idea. Don't put that in Miss Lisa's head.
She's already mentioned that not getting rid of the Oscars. She knows I would put up a fight, but she's mentioned a big Oscar tank. A bigger discus tank.
What size do you have them in right now?
They're in a 125. She has 10 in there. with a school of about probably 20 or so rummy nose tetras.
Oh,
It's an amazing
nice.
tank. It's beautiful. And they are her absolute prized possessions, probably even more than the kids. And she loves those fish. And she has mentioned maybe getting a bigger tank, not to move them into, but to get another strain of Stenker discus is what she wants to do.
Ooh.
They have Stenker has two different fish that look they look very close to wild discus, which would be the Tefe and the one I'm totally drawing a blank on, and it's the one we have, and I'll think of it in a second. But so she'd like to get another tank for the other strain of Stenker discus that look the Tefes. They look very, very wild looking.
Nice. Oh, there she goes. There's
Tefes
Tepe.
are the one that she wants, but that's not what she has.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The ones that she has.
There you go.
Harums, thank you. See, jeez, I was going to be in so much trouble. Whew.
Putting some oil on the fire. Believe it or not, I have never seen an Oscar. LFS so good. Oh wow, never seen an Oscar.
That's just sad.
I was just going to say that should almost be illegal.
I know. I mean,
Right?
what stores are you going to?
Wow.
Guppy stores or something? I've never heard that before.
No.
I've
Unless it's
never
maybe-
seen that.
Maybe it's an LFS that only has 10 gallons. I don't know. Maybe.
That's the first I've ever heard of anything like that.
Anyone have experience with blue neon gobies? I don't know the scientific word of that, but
I do
for
not.
those who are in the chat, if you do,
What I would
let
recommend
us
if you
know,
want,
Mr.
I would say go to Alex. He's probably someone I would think would have a lot of knowledge on gobies and Dan's fish.
True. Am I lagging still?
Nope. You're just not talking.
I don't know. I'm over here miming all the time. I'm sorry.
I'm
Only
beginning to think,
has nano fish, angels, discus, and goldfish.
I've got a couple of aquascape shops near me that are the same way. They don't keep any bigger discus in their shop.
But I mean, is that
Bigger
the only
fish,
shop-
I'm sorry.
Is that the only shop that Dolbeck has ever been to? I mean, like, that's crazy. How
It's
can you
called
not-
this, John. Some people have this. It's tunnel vision. They're into their world, and that's it, man.
I guess so.
But Oscars, though, that Oscars is like a staple in every fish tank. Like every fish tank you walk to, it has an Oscar in it. You're like,
Right.
oh,
Just
it's
like
an
goldfish.
Oscar.
They are called water
Yeah.
dogs for a reason, man. There aren't too many aquarium fish that will let you pet them like a dog.
Yep. How many do you have, Kenny? I mean, I see a few of them back there.
I think I've got 5 or 6 now total. But you keep it Oscars, you can understand. You have to keep them in somewhat control because I used to have all 5 or 6 of them in here. And they ended up almost borderline killing each other. So I had to start taking them around and putting them in different tanks to keep the peace.
I've been lucky with my 3, and we were talking before we went live about how I'd like to add 3 more, but at the same time, like everybody's happy in there now. Everything, I know that could change it in a heartbeat. It could change literally right now while we're on the live stream. But if I was to add 3 more, who knows what would happen? So
Well, the one thing you got going for you, John, you got them in the 360. That helps. There's room for them to, get out of each other's way. Where this is a
Right.
125. If they have an issue, I mean, they did manage to kill one. I mean, it was bad.
Well, mine
So,
killed my arowanas. So, I mean, I get it.
seriously.
Yeah.
Huh.
No
Absolutely.
way.
Yep.
Wow. Never heard of that one either.
That's why Lisa does not like my Oscars.
Ah.
She likes this guy right here, the red. He's the newest one. But this albino, if I was to take him out and throw him into the cul-de-sac right now, she would be okay with that. But this guy, the red is he's our newest one. He's a little bit smaller than the other two. I don't know where the tiger is.
That's funny, John. We just saved a red ourselves. That was the last one I got, was a red Oscar.
Yeah,
Just
well,
love him.
he was at a pet store. We didn't save him. He was, yeah, I paid a lot of money for him actually, but you know, being in the Oscar game, I can't go buy little guys. You know, I mean, I've got to get some that'll hold their own in that tank. And he was about 8 inches. I say he. I don't know if it's a male or a female. When I got him, it was about 8 inches. So there wasn't really a huge size discrepancy, but the tiger and the albino tiger, they kind of pushed him around a little bit when I first put him in there, but after a day or so, they were all swimming around together and it was fine. I hope the same thing would happen if I
don't know if the area you guys live in, but here it's actually easier to get a deal on a big Oscar than it is a smaller one, because, you know, people brought them to there. Most of the time, if they end up at a pet shop, it's because they're the ill-tempered Oscar, you know. So I've gotten some great deals off of large Oscars because take it out and that just immediately opens up a big tank for them to bring more fish in. And
right.
I've just found it's easier to get a deal on a big one even than a medium or small one.
We have seen them, quite a few. Yeah, those and plecos are probably the two most traded in fish in pet stores. But it's always been ones that I already have.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'd like to have 6 Oscars and I'd like them to all be different. And so like my buddy Rama that has a shop down the road from me, he hit me up the other day and he's like, I got an 8-inch albino. And I was like, is it an albino tiger or is it a albino red or just an albino? And he never answered me, the jerk. But if it was an albino red,
I was going to say, I don't think I've seen anything more pretty than an albino red. I mean, those things are just gorgeous.
I know. I would have been in the truck on my way down there if he told me it was an albino red. And it was exactly what you said. Some guy had just brought it in not because it was mean, but because it got too big for his tank.
Right.
So that's the same guy I got my red from. And, you know, I would have been on my way down there to get it, but he never answered me.
Yeah, I get the calls all the time for different larger species. I'm a sucker. I end up going and getting them all, it seems like.
So speaking of Oscars, and well, we've already had the hybrid talk, but now it's not a hybrid. What if they're short-bodied? How do you feel about short-bodied, Mr. John?
Not a fan.
Not a fan?
No.
No.
I'm not gonna hate on somebody if they like them, but that to me, intentional deformities to me are just not cool. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know how much more politically correct I can be.
The other ones I can't stand the look of are these new long fin ones that've come out. I mean, it's not for me. It don't look right on an Oscar.
A long fin Oscar. Yeah, you're right. It kind of, I don't know.
Not only does it not look right, I've never seen one that the long fins aren't shredded. Like they just look gnarly and terrible. It's like, why would you even do that?
And the reason they put them in with a couple of regular fin Oscars and they were like,
exactly. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me either. I mean, yeah, that's one that I could do without the balloon fish and the short bodied ones and all of that. Not a fan.
Nice. Well, yeah. I can't believe it. 54 minutes.
What?
Are you strict on cutting it off at an hour?
No, I'm always the one that ends early because I like to throw the party to the next person. I don't know if Royal Fish is still here. He will be going on.
He's got a pretty cool guest this week too. He's got Rico Stan in the house.
Nice. Tonight. And then I know Mr. Alex is going as well. So one of those two will be going tonight right after me. So if any one of y'all have any other questions, we are going to wrap it up a little bit because Mr. John is very important and so is Mr. Kenny. Thank y'all so much for this fun that we've had. Like
it was a good time. I enjoyed myself.
Somebody said 2 more hours. Wow.
2 more hours.
Wow.
I ain't got nothing going on.
Keep going. Keep going. Look, we love that. We love it, and I wish we could, but it is awesome to have every single one of y'all here. For those mods dropping links, doing their thing, keeping this stream nice, clean, and healthy as always. I want to thank y'all always, always, and always. And for those who are watching this replay, you have missed a great live stream. So hopefully we'll get to see y'all going. And Mr. Johnny, have anything else to say that, you know, is coming for the future, or anything that you would like to say to these wonderful people?
Really looking forward to Aquashella next month. I can't wait to see the people out there. The first time we've been able to do anything like this, and I don't even know how long. Don't worry, I'm vaccinated. Everything's good.
I am too.
Whoa, we got a milestone. Jack and Dan just went to 12K. Congratulations.
Awesome, Jack and Dan. Excellent, guys.
That's awesome. That's huge.
That is what's up. Awesome. Well,
John, are you
Mr.
going to be going to ACA?
I don't know. The only thing we know that is set in stone right now is Aquashella, probably all three Aquashellas. And that's, you know, we got a bunch of kids, we got a business to run and all of that. So it's hard for us to leave.
I get it.
For the entire weekend. With Aquashella, we're going to be gone from Thursday to Monday. So that's tough. And to do that over and over and over again would be tough. So I don't know for sure, but I know the three Aquashellas. We're actually speaking at the one in Orlando, Lisa and I. So super excited about that. And I guess if we do a good enough job, maybe they'll ask us to speak at the other two too. But we'll be there. But whether we'll be speaking at those, I don't know. But yeah, super excited about those. I don't know. I mean, the ACA, where is that in Ohio or
St. Louis this year?
Mm-hmm.
It's in July in St. Louis. So
Fishy Biz is not going to give me a choice. He's going to make me go out there, I guess. But that's not too far.
That's funny because he will tell you to be there.
I've never been to an ACA, so I'd like to get to one of those.
I was going to say, being the cyclic guy that you are, I'm sure you would find a lot of value in the ACA.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, without further ado, gentlemen, thank y'all so much. For those who in the chat, thank y'all so much. As always, y'all, be kind, be courteous, and we will see y'all next week. See y'all later.